I keep having to remind myself that small is beautiful. And, alright. As some of you may know, I am an artist. Right now, the focus of my work is a community-engaged project seeking to evangelize the handmade. I call this With Hands, and if you want to find out more about it, you can go to withhandsny.blogspot.com. Link in the doobly-doo. There's lots of information on there, including a free PDF of a little catalog / book I made for it, as well as a rough quality mini documentary. With Hands is a multifaceted project, and the one facet of the project that was what I had initially envisioned the whole thing to be centered around is an event. The event would be sort of an installation / performance / place to come learn a hand skill. I at some point realized that just doing this alone would provide barriers to reaching as many people as I wanted to reach, because asking people to come to a thing requires them making a choice to actually show up and participate. So I, in dialogue with some of my peers, came up with other ways and other facets to make the project more inclusive to reach more people. This is not to write off the events completely, and here's where the issue of size comes in. At my first event at the library in my town that I had well prepared for, I told myself that I would be pleased if one person showed up. And being that 2 people showed up, it seems that I should be doubly pleased. And to be quite honest, I had great interactions with both of the people that showed up. I taught them to embroider or refresh their embroidery skills, and we discussed the handmade, and the conversations were so great. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't a bit crestfallen. I had hoped that maybe even some people would stumble in from the library who hadn't intended on going but were just interested in what was going on. But again, the barrier that is making a choice to enter a space. And as some of you may know, I am working on my MFA right now, and this project is a part of it. So the following grad school residency, I wanted to present the work that I had done so far, and sort of do a workshop for the people at my grad school too. I decided that instead of teaching them to embroider, which I have done plenty of times at different residencies, I would teach them to bind books. Bookbinding is one of my hobbies and favorite hand skills. I figured the books that I would teach them to bind could be a copy of the catalog that I had made for my project. So they could take home a free catalog that they had bound themselves that would remind them of the different things that I was trying to get across with my project. But I was dumb and didn't fill out the forms until a little too late, and I got one of the worst possible times on the schedule. My event was occurring at the same time as one of the popular advisors. About 3 people came. I started the With Hands project. Again, I understood, but I was a bit crestfallen. I took a while to set up the space, and I really thought, this will be good because the other students in my program are interested in what I'm doing and will surely come. And honestly, the students that came were truly interested in what I was doing. There were only a few people there, and I actually had to be honest with myself and think if there were more people there, it would have been more difficult for me to instruct and help and work one-on-one, and I wouldn't have been able to have such fruitful conversations. I really have a preference for quality over quantity. I'm one of those people who would really rather you didn't buy me a present than just buy me any old thing because you feel like you have to. And along the line of presents, as some of you may know, I pay the bills by substitute teaching, and as I'm a certified art teacher, I substitute for a lot of art teachers. And I find often that students want to draw me pictures. At first, I went home with a million pictures and felt really terrible about trying to throw away any of them. But after a while, it gets to be too much. And I noticed that kids just take 2 seconds and scribble something on a piece of paper because they want to give you something. But to be quite honest, I only saved the ones that required concentrated effort, the quality over the quantity. And then the same thing applies to YouTube. You knew I was going to connect this to YouTube, didn't you? It seems that many, if not most, content producers who call YouTube their home are really in a constant quest for more subscribers. And if you're not familiar with the YouTube lingo, subscribing to somebody makes it so that every time that person posts a new video, you are updated about it. It's a great way to be quickly informed about new videos by your favorite people. And so generally it follows that the more subscribers you get, the more people comment on your videos and interact with you. But there are many people who just want the numbers so bad that they do really ridiculous things. There are networks and groups on Facebook for sub for sub. If you haven't heard this before, the idea is that you subscribe to somebody and they subscribe back, like a contractual agreement. Now, to be fair, there are quite a few people who I'm subscribed to who are also subscribed to me. But it wasn't quite a contractual agreement, it was a mutual appreciation. The problem with these sub-for-sub groups is that nobody's ever watching anyone's videos. And to be honest, every now and then I get somebody who subscribes to me and then sends me a message saying, "Could you please subscribe back?" Seriously? I'm not trying to say that considering numbers is inherently bad. Setting goals for yourself helps you achieve something. It keeps you striving and pushing to be better. But honestly, I would rather have 10 subscribers who left intelligent, thought-provoking comments than 1,000 subscribers who didn't comment at all, if they even watched. What are your experiences with this? Let me know, because I make decent friendship based on quality interaction. Oh, and speaking of decent friendship, you really ought to hear about my weekend.